not showing up. I'm not sure why the chat is not showing up now. What's up, Chad? My chat thing isn't showing up. Like, I can see my chat, but on the screen where you were looking, suddenly it's not there. I don't know what happened. For those watching later, and for those watching on YouTube later, Chad Lutsky said afternoon. I'm also eating Caesar salad. I need some roughage in my diet. What are you working on, Chad? Anything? I've been sick for 2 weeks, barely left the bed at all. I watched 45 movies and 2 full series. That is the weirdest thing. Now, all of a sudden, on the feed, now all of a sudden that pops up on the screen. That's weird. Have you, I don't care about your horror movies. Have you watched anything good? And what 2 series did you binge watch? I'm sorry to hear that you're sick. Out of all of those, I think one of them was a horror movie. Oh, interesting. What kind of stuff are you watching? Double Chad today. Chad Hoey also in the house. Ted Lusky says, I watched a series called Bored to Death that I'd seen before and love about a writer who takes a side gig as an unofficial private detective. Never heard of it. I will have to jot that one down. I have been watching. This past week my wife was home. But the week before, she was at her mom's, staying. So, I've started watching, which I had never seen when it came out 20 years ago, Arrested Development. I don't know why, but I never watched it. So I've watched into part of the 2nd season. And then, in a couple weeks when my wife leaves again to stay at her mom's, I'll probably end up binge watching the rest of it. The other series was a thriller on Netflix called The Watcher. It's a mini-series. I watched mostly comedies. Way too sick to watch anything dark. Yeah, I've seen The Watcher. That was pretty good. We watched, what's it called? The Holdovers movie a couple nights ago. Paul Giamatti. It was pretty good. It was a really good character movie. I was surprised. I was like, my wife's like, let's watch this. I was like, all right, whatever. And actually, I really liked it. Chad Lutsky says, I love Arrested Development. Finishing it up for the 2nd time. I'll probably watch it again in a few years. Chenoe says, I've been watching Superstore on Hulu. So funny. I did not ever find that show funny. I've watched like 3 or 4 episodes when it first came out, and I don't know why. I just didn't like it. I give everything 3 episodes. You got to catch me in 3 episodes, or I'm not interested. Now, that being said, once you get to a certain point in my life where my wife is gone most of the time to stay at her mom's, then I might, like, you know what, I'm going to watch Superstore. Chad Hoey liked it. I have, so last night, my wife walks to the guest bathroom. And she's like, the rug is wet. And she opens up, and the air conditioning unit, the inside, is, we got a leak. I'm like, son of a bitch. So it's still, the air was still working last night, which is good, but we got a leak. A bad leak. So I'm waiting for the people to come. So they said between 2 and 4, but they'll try to get here earlier if possible. So I figured, you know what? I got to write. Let me go on early and try to write. In best case scenarios, I write for 2-3 hours, you know, and then they show up. Worst case is I write for half an hour, take a nap. As soon as I close my eyes, they ring the doorbell. But I got to get some writing in. I got a lot in yesterday. I had like 2,700 words yesterday. I wrote after Twitch too, which is good. Bored to Death stars Jason Schwartzman, Zac Efron's the dancer. Oh, all right. I know what that is. Yeah, I know what that is. Yeah, I never saw. That's one of those. I was like, maybe I'll watch this. I'm to the point now where I'm like, what has 5 or 6 seasons and like 100 episodes, and that's what I'm gonna watch. I got croutons now. It's gonna get crunchy. Everything else we're watching is just random stuff that we're taping. Like last night we did, we never watch, I'll never watch at night 2 episodes of this same thing if it's me and my wife, because we got like 100 things that are taped, and with her being gone, we had like a couple weeks of shows that piled up, and so we try to get to maybe 3 hours a night of shows. So could be 3 or 4 shows. And I'm old. I go to bed at like 11. Anytime after 11 o'clock, I'm like, I'm going to bed. But we watch like those Border Patrol shows. I love those. So like something at the border, and then we have cable. But we have cable, but we don't have any of the movie channels because we don't watch them. And the only thing we pay for extra is Netflix and Prime. Those are the only things we have. So we don't have Max or Hulu or any of the other ones because we just weren't watching those. And I'm watching History Channel stuff mostly, or baseball. You know, like those are the 2 things I'm watching. And my wife watches Investigation Discovery. And like there's certain shows she watches that I don't watch. So we both watch Tracker. And the only reason I'm watching Tracker, it's alright. The only reason is because it's a Jeffrey Deaver, based on Jeffrey Deaver books. She was very excited because last night we watched an episode where the dude from Supernatural is on it playing his brother. And she loved that show. I've never seen Supernatural. She loved that show. I guess another show eventually I'll watch. I don't know. And so we watched that. We also watched Catfish, the TV show, and yell at the TV. And that whatever at the border, stopped at the border, saved at the whatever, where people try to get from Mexico into Texas or Texas into Mexico, and they're smuggling drugs and money and all kinds of stuff in there. So we watch episodes of that, and also we watch all the WWE Sunday, the WWE Rivals, WWE Legends, all those, because I remember all of those guys I used to watch when I was a kid. She doesn't know any of them, so it's interesting to hear about all their effed up stories. I've only read one Deaver book, Bone Collector. Loved it. All right, come on a second. He is great. I've read probably about half of his books. Lots of good twists, great characters in them. I'm a big fan. He's supposed to be at BoucherCon in September in Nashville, and I'm looking forward to meeting him. And Michael Wiley, the author, also highly recommended thriller author, is going to introduce me, which is I'm looking forward to. Lions Pride Studios, good morning to you. I see you when you're on, but I'm usually busy at that point when you're on Twitch. I basically had a bunch of croutons left. Very good. I'm a big fan. Writing your third book now. Very good. Congratulations. Doing some lurking. Bring Lansdale's Rumble, Tumble, and something else because I was asked to write the intro for the limited hardcover. Very cool. I am reading, I'm about halfway through Gator Country by Rebecca Renner. Nonfiction about gator poaching. And it is really good. It's her first book. She's from down here. She's like from near Daytona Beach. Really good. Chad says, I love Lansdale with all my heart. Yeah, I know you do. But you really have to spread him out or it gets pretty samey. Yeah. I find that with most authors I read. So like I love Kindle Unlimited. And I have like a Dan Padavona slot. And I have a Rachel Kane slot. And I have a Dean Koontz slot. And I have a Jeffrey Deaver slot. So I have like probably 10 of my 20 are specific authors. Andrew Main is another one. Nicholas Harvey. But very, very rarely do I jump into the next book of an author. I'll usually be like, okay, I just read Dan's latest book. Dan, I'm about 20 books behind. But I'll just kind of circle around to the next person because I don't like reading that voice over and over and over again. Now, there's a series that my wife loves, a thriller series. It's a Scottish, I think it's a Scottish thriller series. I want to say the last name is Kirk. Anyway, she does audiobooks, and she loves these books so much she actually listened to like 6 or 7 of them in a row. On her way back and forth to work and up and back to Atlanta a couple times. So she's a huge fan. Though that's usually she doesn't do that either. It's like me watching the TV show like 2 episodes in a row. I don't know why. I don't normally like doing it unless I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna watch all of Arrested Development and I'm just gonna keep it on and that's it. But I gotta be in the mood for that. I'm on page 2. A few croutons left. Then I'll start chewing it. Hopefully I can get some good writing in today. Oh, I'm almost to the bottom. I had no idea. No idea. So that's 1, 2. We're just going to get to page 4 on this chapter. Why is the thing not up? Where's my word count? There it is. Jump into this story here. There's Mr. Frank. There he is, that son of a... Yeah, Chachi's early today because the air conditioning unit is leaking inside. And so we have the repairman, or men, as the case may dictate, are coming between 2 and 4, but they said they would try to get here early because my wife is a big deal and she throws this company hundreds of thousands of dollars in work for all of her buildings. So they take care of her. So they are coming. So I didn't want to get on. I was like, you know what? It's a bonus day. I want to get some writing in before I just don't. Don't. And I was like, let me get on early. Let me get on at like noon, because then maybe I'll get in a couple of hours of in here. Probably not. Then at least I got some work in before they showed up. And they might not come till 4 o'clock. Who freaking knows? The air's working, so I'm not too worried about it. Fair play to you back, son of a... talking to me like that. Irish people do say that a lot. I'm not Irish. I never say that. I've never said that in my life. My eyes burn. Funny, you look exactly like a leprechaun. I'll take that as a compliment. When people say I look like a leprechaun, I'm like, you know what? You're right. You're right. But not like that movie Leprechaun. Not like that. I don't want to look like that leprechaun. What with the top hat, shoe buckles, and shillelagh. Let's see what you did there. I think I'm 2% Irish. Oh, I don't think I'm any percent Irish. I think that was what it was. I'm none percent Irish. Although my mother swore we were Irish growing up. She still does. She still swears that Ancestry.com is wrong. Chad accused Lansdale of being the literary equivalent of AC/DC. You don't know. Maybe they're the equivalent of the Ramones. You don't know. I guess on Friday, those remastered Black Sabbath albums drop. I'm hoping they're going to be on Spotify. All the Tony Martin stuff, Headless Cross, and all those. I'm not saying any AC/DC bashing. Looking forward to them. I'm looking forward to remastered versions, and to have those versions out that you can listen to besides on YouTube. I also saw that Steve Plunkett, former lead singer of Autograph, has a new solo album, his second solo album coming out very soon. That will be interesting as well. So, a couple of interesting things. Still not a fan of the Lizzie Hale Skid Row stuff though. They keep playing different random things. And it's just like karaoke Skid Row. I don't think I've heard any of those Martin albums all the way through. Everything I've ever heard with Sabbath past Born Again, I haven't liked. There's some good songs. I mean, Headless Crosses I think is a great song, but there are several, like maybe let's be honest, 3 or 4 songs on each album that are actually really good. Not necessarily like good, like oh this is a Black Sabbath song, but good because I think his voice fits the music and everything. None of it is great, but I think there's some very, very good songs on those albums. Like Gary Sharon era Sabbath, with the greatest. I did like some of Dehumanizer, and I really like 13 quite a lot. I stopped with Sabbath seriously with Born Again. That was probably the last album I liked all the way through. But again, it wasn't really a Sabbath album. You know what I'm saying? It was just, but yeah. So there you go. What a nightmarish mess of it. Right? Can you imagine Gary Sharon singing "Paranoid"? I mean, Scott Ian, obviously, right? Isn't he in the band now? Because he's in every band. Well, at least there's some new music by older bands coming out, I guess. Who knows? Who can say? Who can say? I'm glad the thing is working now. Before you came in, Mr. Frank, on my page, and then you'll see it later on the YouTube. And I guess what you guys are seeing now, the chat was not coming up. Like the first 3 or 4 things, and then all of a sudden, boom, they were there. It's just crazy, just crazy. I want to remind everybody to resubscribe here on the Twitch and also on my YouTube. I need some more followers over on YouTube as well. The Twitch is useless without chat. Hey! Listening to my dulcet tones, my stories, my insights, my world-changing views on things. You shut your mouth. Chad, how is the YouTube thing going? How many people you have following you now? That's offensive, Mr. Frank. Very offensive. I just realized the name of this book I'm writing on, this Severed Press one, is called Hidden Cave. Right? And I have a book me and Jay Wilburn wrote called The Hidden Truth. I do tend to use the same words a lot. Good? I mean, Mr. Frank. 641 subs, but because I've been so sick, I haven't had an episode up in weeks. Hidden Cave was my girlfriend's name in high school. Wasn't all that hidden. Get it? Did you ever date any of the same women that dude who was in that show that you went to school with dated? Nice. Yeah, Dude Hill. Didn't you say you went to school with the guy from Psych or something? Dulé? I call him Dude Hill. Me and him were very close back in the day. Were you friends with him? Were you friendly with him? Yes, he was in Psych and West Wing. There you go. Two shows I've never seen. My wife has watched Psych. She binge watched Psych. I did not. A lot of shows I haven't watched. Somebody the other day, I forget who I was talking to, and they were saying lines, and I'm like, "What are you even talking?" They're like, "Oh, from Dexter." Like, I never saw that. Like, how did you never see Dexter? I'm like, I never saw Dexter. I had gym with him. He was like 1 grade under me. So he's younger than you, but he's done way, way more in life than you ever will. And I'm not saying that to be mean. I'm just a fact. You know what? Good for him. Good for him. He was also like 4'11". Which is weird because now he's like 6'6", I think. If I read that right. So you go to school with somebody like that and you're like this, just some other idiot. You know what I'm saying? Just another Sayreville moron. This guy is not going to amount to anything. None of us are going to amount to anything. And all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I went to school with that guy. I was in gym class with that 4'11" little midget. He's 4'11 and a half now. He wears lifts. I heard he wears lifts in his shoes. You know what? Good for you though. Whew. Hopefully that Caesar salad will clear me out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Get some roughage in my diet. Yesterday, while I was on Twitch, my wife and my sister-in-law went to the pool, got a little sun, and then they went to Trader Joe's because my sister-in-law thinks she's somebody. I don't think either of them were wearing yoga pants, so I don't know how they even let them in. But they went to Trader Joe's. My wife did buy me a Caesar salad because I had mentioned I probably need some more roughage in my life. Oh, geez, the pool saga. Yes, the saga of the pool. So I had roughage. Last time my wife made fusilli pasta for dinner. But with nothing in it. She's like, I'll put broccoli in it for you. We're out of broccoli. We forgot to take anything out, so we can't put chicken in it. All right. Don't worry about it. And because it was Memorial Day yesterday, I made myself, while she was at the pool, during the pool saga. I made two cheeseburgers with Swiss cheese and mushrooms. And now I am out of mushrooms. So really all of it is just ridiculous. Well, here comes the cat. She wants to go into the window for 8 seconds, so I have to go through all this and open the window for her, the blind, so she can hop up into the window. Now she's not even going to do it. She's just going to walk away. You son of a bitch. You made me get up for nothing. Damn you all to hell. So there you go. Now I have this song "Headless Cross" in my head. I watched the so I've been on the YouTube. I keep watching these Brazilian beach walks ones. Love them, just love it. And really, it's not. It's I put them on the other monitor while I was writing yesterday, and I wrote like 2,700 words yesterday, which is a lot for me lately. And that just the noise of the beach and people talking like Portuguese or whatever. I've yet to see one of those. You got it. There's like some of them that are like six hours long. I mean, it says live, but none of them are live. If you just type in on YouTube "beach walk," you'll find them. Or "beach walk Rio" is a good one. There's a bunch of there's tons of them. Every now and then, one of these people jump up onto Twitch, is where I started seeing them originally. But then Twitch pulls them down because they're really not live. And, yeah. But then I'll just have them on the background. Now, the ones I don't like, there's a bunch of them that was, maybe you should beach walk Redneck Beach. I know, I thought about that. I'm like, you know what? That might be a good idea. That might be a good YouTube video. Because I think you could do, can't you do YouTube Live? Like, I don't know if I would do Twitch because I don't want to lose my Twitch account. Because it seems like they don't like that. But I think you can do YouTube Live, right? Should be able to. So when Tom comes down before MondoCon and we go to Redneck Beach, I'm gonna walk it. Actually, I'm just gonna sit there and I'm just gonna film people walking by me. That will be the difference. I'm not walking the whole beach. The beach is walking to me. The problem ones are like, so they film a lot of beaches in Florida, and there's a couple of beaches that are real good that all the chicks are in like thongs, but the problem is they're all speaking English, and then that distracts me because as you're walking past people and she's like, and I told that bitch she better give me $10 for that drink or I ain't buying her another drink, like all dumb, and I'm like, I don't want to hear your pieces of conversations that I understand. I don't speak Portuguese as far as I know. I don't think I'm even Portuguese, to be honest with you. So I like that because all it is just a lot of just random syllables and it makes no sense to me, and then I don't pay attention to it. I'm surprised you were allowed to write redneck because I know that it had flagged it not too long ago when somebody posted that. But I think because I said it was alright, maybe it's finally like, you know what? Redneck is not a bad thing to say when you put beach after it. There's Moody Abigail lurking. Appreciate it. Okay. Is it though? Is it okay? What is next weekend? Next weekend starts the month of June. I got nothing. Literally, I got nothing coming up this next weekend. Maybe I'll say to my wife, let's go to Redneck Beach. Because I don't know where it is exactly. And I don't want to drive. There's like a million people there. And you got to drive on the beach. And I worry about getting stuck. And I think it's like $5 to get on the beach. It's just so much. Seems like a lot of work. You know. Who wants to do work? I'm going to go a few more minutes. Maybe 5, 6 more minutes. Maybe I'll get a little bit more writing in. Unless anybody has anything to talk about. I wish I wasn't working. I wish my work was writing, but actually making money doing it. Yeah. I gotta be honest, it's a good feeling that I'm sitting here on a Tuesday and I'm able to write. The bad thing is when I got a bunch of stuff and nothing is getting finished because I'm writing on random things, and it's like, oh, at some point these 6 or 7 books will all be finished within a couple weeks of each other, if I keep pacing it like this instead of concentrating on one thing and finishing the damn thing. I also turned off all of my advertising for the month, and I took a huge hit on money coming in, Amazon money coming in. But I also was losing like $300 and $400 a month. So even if I make like say $500 this month, it's a plus $500. But then for my ego, I was like, you know what? I would rather make $1,500 for the month and spend $1,900. Makes no sense. At some point I will ease, probably in June, I will ease an ad or two in and see what happens. But not do Facebook and BookBub and Amazon ads all at once. Probably just do a Facebook ad and see what happens. I might also wait until June 15th when the Down and Dirty 1, the first book, comes out. Maybe I'll run an ad or two for that. So that might be the answer. Yes, I'm here making money, just not as much money as I want to make. I did get a couple of good royalty things that came in over the last couple days, though. So I did get some money that way, which is good. And it drops into the bank account, so my wife always sees it as well, which is good. I guess Amazon money will probably drop, or has dropped. And I think I was still making good money then, so this month should be decent money. There goes the UPS man. He just drove by. I feel like these guys aren't going to show up till 4 o'clock. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking 4 o'clock. We're gonna have people show up to fix this thing. I'm tired. All right, we go like another minute, and then I'm out of here. I'm out of here like last year. I appreciate everybody hanging out today. Several people coming and going. my viewer numbers keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. So people just jumping in, going, "The hell is this guy talking about?" and leaving. But that's fine. I always appreciate the people who actually comment. It's a big thing for you to comment on here because it helps my numbers as well as you just being here. So thank you for that. Thank you for everyone subscribing, resubscribing, and also jumping over onto the YouTube as well. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything about you. All right, people. I am out of here. And I will see everyone tomorrow, 1 o'clock. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this again. Hopefully, I can continue to get some writing in. Probably when they're here fixing things, I'll be sitting in my office, keeping an eye on them, watching them, making sure they don't steal anything, and then I will get some more writing in. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and I also appreciate you watching me eat a Caesar salad.